Hello, I'm David Hughes. Welcome to Your Perfect Body, the podcast of the Esoteric Teaching community. Today's selection is an essay entitled, God is Transcendental. Kṛṣṇa, God, is transcendental. It is stated in the Vedas, Nārāyaṇaḥ paro vyaktāt. Kṛṣṇa is transcendental and immanent, unmanifest. He is not of this material world. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa's body, Kṛṣṇa's activities, Kṛṣṇa's holy name, his abode, his associates, all are transcendental. They are not of this material world. They are parā, transcendental, divyam, divine. Kṛṣṇa instructs Lord Brahma in the Esoteric Teaching, aham, evāsam, evagre. Before this material creation, I existed. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.33. In the Vedas also it is said, Eko Nārāyaṇaḥ āsīt. Before the material creation, only Narayana was there. So Kṛṣṇa, God, is always transcendental. He is not a creation of this material world. But because he comes to this world and apparently acts just like a human being, those who are avajananti, less intelligent, they think of Kṛṣṇa as an ordinary human being. Kṛṣṇa says, avajananti mang mudha, Bhagavad-gītā 9:11. Mudha means asses, or the less intelligent class of men. They cannot understand Kṛṣṇa's position. Kṛṣṇa's position is always transcendental. Similarly, Bhagavad-gītā, Kṛṣṇa's words, is also transcendental. The purpose of Bhagavad-gītā is bhakti yogam, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Vedic literature is transcendental, and bhakti yoga is also transcendental. Bhakti is not an activity of this material world. Janma karma cha me divyam evang yo veti tattvataha tyaktva dehang punarjanma naiti mang eti sorjuna. One who knows the truth about the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities upon leaving the body does not take birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Bhagavad-gītā 4:9. So bhakti is also transcendental because it is activity in relationship with Kṛṣṇa. Therefore it cannot be material. Mang chayo vyabhicārena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhūyaya kalpate. One who unfailingly engages in full devotional service in all circumstances at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Bhagavad-gītā 14:26. Bhakti yoga is transcendental because its purpose is to understand Kṛṣṇa. And because Kṛṣṇa is transcendental, you cannot understand Kṛṣṇa by any material method. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa says, Bhaktya mam abhijananti. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. Bhagavad-gītā 18:55. The Bhakti Yoga method is also transcendental, not of this material world. So, if we can simply understand these facts, that Kṛṣṇa is transcendental, Kṛṣṇa's name is transcendental, Kṛṣṇa's form is transcendental, Kṛṣṇa's activities are transcendental, Bhakti Yoga, the method of attaining Kṛṣṇa, is also transcendental, then we can begin to understand Kṛṣṇa as he is. Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Satchidananda Vigraha. Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His transcendental body is eternal, full of unlimited consciousness and bliss. Brahma Samhita 5.1. Kṛṣṇa's transcendental body is Satchit Ananda, not material like this body. This material body is just the opposite, Asat, Achit, and Nirananda, temporary, full of ignorance and suffering. This material body is Asat. Asat means temporary. In a few short years, it will not exist. But Kṛṣṇa's body is not like that. Kṛṣṇa's body is eternal, without beginning or end. And consciousness is Chit, Sat Chit, eternal and full of knowledge or consciousness. Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda means bliss. So foolish people, the less intelligent class of men, cannot understand Kṛṣṇa as he is. Therefore the esoteric teaching says, Ata Shri Kṛṣṇa Namadi na bhaved grahyam indrayai sevon mukhe hi jivadao svayameva spuratyadaha. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Kṛṣṇa through materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. These dull material senses cannot reach to the transcendental realm to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not possible. Dharma svanustita prungsang vishvaksena katasuyaha not padayedya tiratim srama eva hikevalam. The occupational duties a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.8. Shrama eva hi kevalam. That is simply hard labor for nothing, wasting time. Kṛṣṇa should be understood as Kṛṣṇa reveals himself in Bhagavad-gītā. He can explain himself. Nobody else can explain him, because our senses are imperfect. We human beings are deficient. We are covered by 4 kinds of faults. We commit mistakes. We are illusioned. We have imperfect senses, and we have a tendency to cheat. For example, scientists explaining a theory will say, "Oh, probably, maybe." This is so-called scientist language, but that means they have imperfect knowledge. Still, they want to teach, and this is cheating. Knowledge must be perfect. Then you can teach others. So our process in the esoteric teaching is to receive perfect transcendental knowledge from the perfect transcendental source and simply distribute it. We don't manufacture anything. Therefore, we are presenting Bhagavad-gītā as it is. The Bhagavad-gītā is already perfect. Why shall I interpret it with my imperfect mind and senses? That would be cheating. But people want to be cheated. Vanchita vanchika sampradaya. The whole world is full of cheaters and cheated. Because they want to be cheated. There are so many cheaters. They don't want the real thing. But here is the real thing. Bhagavad-gītā is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, personally speaking about himself. Why should we interpret it? Does it mean that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Authority, left something unexplained to be interpreted later on by some rascals? No. But the rascals dare to interpret Kṛṣṇa's explanation of himself. That is cheating. There are something like 645 editions of Bhagavad-gītā available, but none of them explain Bhagavad-gītā as it is, without interpretation or speculation. So this is simply cheating. They pose themselves as scholars, and people want to be cheated, so they accept their words. They will not accept what Kṛṣṇa says. They want some interpretation. As a result, they cannot understand Kṛṣṇa. They take shelter of cheaters, therefore they